Brought to you by stationhousecoffee.com and inspireddisorder.com/ting.
What you manifest in your mind, you can bring to reality.
Cobra Kai, the sequel to The Karate Kid, the TV series sequel, originally started on YouTube Red, YouTube's attempt to produce original content. It's finally made its way to Netflix. Season 3 is supposedly ready to go and be released on Netflix next year. But for now, Season 1 and Season 2 are on Netflix. And I recently binged both seasons. Right off the bat, I like Season 1 more than I like Season 2. Although I'm still excited for a third season. I'm excited to see where the series goes. Of course, if you're not a fan or not familiar with Karate Kid, it's about Daniel LaRusso moving from Jersey to California, being kind of the odd man out, being the new guy in town. He gets picked on, but ends up getting karate training from Mr. Miyagi, the maintenance man at his apartment complex, and he learns karate to beat up his bullies who are trained in karate through a local karate school dojo called Cobra Kai. So this this series takes place, I don't know, 30 years later. The Daniel LaRusso, Ralph Macchio, as well as William Zabka, both reprised their roles as Johnny and Daniel LaRusso. Of course, there's no Mr. Miyagi because he is Pat Morita, I believe, passed away. I don't know how long ago. But he is not obviously in this. There's no CG Pat Morita either. But there are kind of stand-ins. But it takes place in the future. Daniel LaRusso is a successful man now. He owns a car dealership. He's very wealthy. Versus Johnny is down on his dumps, kind of an alcoholic handyman. But he decides to bring back the Cobra Kai because it's something that he misses. It's something that he wants to kind of bring back to the world, I guess. And there's a kid. There's the new Daniel LaRusso, Miguel Diaz, who lives in the same apartment complex as Johnny and asks Johnny to train him when he finds out that he knows karate. So it's very similar in some ways, except for now Johnny is kind of the protagonist, I would say. There is a complexity to the story because there's like the child of Johnny ends up getting trained by LaRusso. The daughter of LaRusso ends up getting in a relationship with Miguel, who is the student of Johnny. So it's a lot of incestuous kind of things, a lot of complexity to the story, but I really enjoyed it. I really enjoy how it brought everything back. I enjoy kind of how they fleshed out the universe, how they fleshed out the characters, and the complexity of the whole story is so much more different. Because LaRusso, in a lot of ways, is almost the antagonist. Johnny is very much, I would say, he's kind of the protagonist, the underdog. He's the guy that's down on his dumps, and like I'm rooting for him to get better because there are moments where he's trying to do the right thing, like he starts recruiting all of the kind of the outcasts of high school, the people that get picked on, that get bullied, and he trains them. But he trains them in the Cobra Kai way, which at the end of season 1 kind of ends up being, because there's a tournament at the end of season 1, another karate tournament, and now it's the new protege of Johnny, who is Miguel Diaz, going up against Robbie, who is his son, being trained by Daniel LaRusso. Although by the time at the end of season 1, LaRusso knows about the kid, about Robbie, and doesn't want to corner him, doesn't want to, because of his lying, doesn't want to corner him or kind of acknowledge him as being his sensei. But throughout the kind of that last fight or whatever, it changes. Just the complete series, season one, and then after the fight, LaRusso's like goes back to Mr. Miyagi's place, and he like turns the lights on. It's like he's gonna bring back his own dojo, and that's the thing where season two kind of shifts in a way that I'm not a big fan, because it shifts in a way to where Johnny is once again the antagonist. He's once again kind of the bad guy in a lot of ways. More so because Creasy comes back, his old sensei who's supposed to be dead or whatever. He comes back and he tries to take over Cobra Kai and make it like the legit bad guys that they were, instead of like this kind of ambiguously like trying to be good but also trying to instill all of the same things that Cobra Kai had. But season two really shifts it back to more of the traditional, where LaRusso's the good guy, which I didn't like. It's almost like the feeling of it is like that private schools are better, even though he doesn't charge for his classes. It's a very elitist thing, because LaRusso is a wealthy man. He's connected to all these wealthy families. And because he has so much money, he's able to give these lessons for free. And they're better lessons. They're not hardcore. They're not trying to grind and break people down. It's really trying to build people up, which I like that aspect, because it is very much the Miyagi kind of style, the Miyagi school of learning martial arts. But just the fact that it's the wealthy guy saving all these poor kids is not. I don't know. It's just season two like shifted a few things back into a way, but it's a reality that I'm not a big fan of. And also it's so much more of a teen soap opera in season two, which I do not like. Like the chemistry between Robbie and LaRusso's kid, like I don't know. It's just so weird. Robbie in general, just seeing a young male actor as an older dude, like seeing like how clearly he's used as a sex symbol. Like every single scene he's in, he's like either got his shirt off or he's like standing or posing in a way in which that he's flexing his muscles. Like he is in every scene trying to look as good as possible. And it's just like, I'm sure it's something where maybe they're trying to get a younger audience to watch this, even though it has very much of an 80s style. It has 80s music. It has, like, the whole production of the show is very 80s. Like, there's a lot of montages. There's a lot of, like, the 80s rock guitar kind of background score, which is fine. It's fun. It kind of keeps that same energy as the original movies. But just the teen soap opera part of it, I'm not a fan of. There's a character called Hawk, which I think is a very interesting character that they could do a lot more, because he's a guy that has a hair lip, got picked on because of his hair lip, and then through going to Cobra Kai, he becomes Hawk. He gets a mohawk, which is kind of ridiculous, because a mohawk would take forever to and it always looks perfect. Like, mohawks are kind of a romanticized, rebellious haircut because they look cool, but the reality of having a mohawk is like the most maintenance you could have for any hairstyle is a mohawk. And it always looks perfect, which I just like, whatever. And he gets a tattoo of a hawk with a mohawk on his back, which is fine. But it's like a character that went from like this nerdy guy, and now he's like a bro, like a just a jock bro kind of, and completely turns his back on his old friends. It's just like there could have been so much nuance to that character to really bring out how difficult it is for somebody to kind of change their identity. But I don't know. I still like the show. That ends. The fight scenes are fun. I mean, clearly the fight scenes are not karate. Like, it definitely has evolved the fight styles because of MMA. There's a scene where Johnny and his old sensei Creasy, they're going through like breaking down fight moves, and there's a move where Creasy gets his back and has an arm around his neck, right, about to do a rear naked choke, let's say, but the second hand to apply pressure is in no way near where it should be to actually choke somebody. And just the fight sequences of what they do, it's like, well, if you do that, it leaves your rib open, and if you elbow my rib, that leaves your body open. It's like, none of this stuff is real. It's like, I wish some of the fighting training was, they maybe had somebody come in who's a professional. Like, there's so many MMA fighters with karate backgrounds that they could, get Wonder Boy, get somebody to help make these things look more realistic. The fight scenes are fun too. Definitely like crazy watching teenagers in these full like fight scenes. So much crazier than like the movies. But overall it was fun. Season 2 ends with like this cliffhanger where Miguel Diaz gets injured. He gets kicked over a flight of stairs. There's like this big fight in the school of, the two gangs, basically the LaRusso gang versus the Johnny Lawrence gang, Cobra Kai versus, I forget what it was called. Miyagi-Do was the other gang. And it's basically two gangs fighting in a school. And it's, it ends badly. And it'd be interesting to see what happens in the third season. But I really liked the first season so much. It was just kind of an amazing way to bring back and make a sequel of a franchise that happened in the 80s. And there's so many 80s references and so many references to the movies. It's really, I really enjoy it. I just don't like the teen soap opera aspect of it. But what are you going to do? Not everything can be perfect. But there is a season 3 that's supposed to be coming out in next year sometime on Netflix. So I'm looking forward to that. And see what happens, see how far they go with it, or if that's the last season. But either way, check out Cobra Kai on Netflix. Make sure you support our sponsors by following Station House Coffee on Instagram and going to stationhousecoffee.com and order yourself some amazing premium coffee, small batch, single origin coffee brewed in Vermont, shipped directly to you. Go to stationhousecoffee.com, support small business, and get yourself some high-quality, amazing coffee today. Also, get $25 in credit when you sign up for your new cell phone service over at Ting. Go through my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. That's Ting, for the best coverage coast to coast, same low rates, now with 3 of the most powerful networks supporting them. Ting is amazing. You only pay for what you use. My cell phone bill has been less than $15 because I turn the data off because I'm home all the time. So go get yourself $25 in credit when you sign up for Ting using my link, inspireddisorder.com/Ting. New episodes of The Ray Taylor Show come out every single day. Subscribe on IGTV, YouTube, and everywhere else podcasts are found. Binge the full week ad-free over at patreon.com/inspireddisorder. Buy Ray Taylor Show merch over at inspireddisorder.com. And follow the show on Instagram at Ray Taylor Show. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Peace out!